This podcast represents the opinions of Tyler Barber and his guests to the show. This podcast is not intended to be a substitute for the medical advice of a licensed counselor or physician. The listener should consult with a mental health professional in any matters relating to their health or the health of a child. This is the Mayo Lab Podcast with Tyler Barber.
Welcome back, guys, to the Mayo Lab Podcast. I am your host, Tyler Barber, and today we're here with Everett Miller. How are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you? Thank you for having me on.
Yeah, no problem. So tell me a little bit about yourself.
So I'm from Memphis, Tennessee. I'm a senior at Ole Miss, a member of the Sigma Chi fraternity. Just finished up being philanthropy chair for Sigma Chi fraternity. That was a great year that I had in the fraternity, and a year that I can look back on with a lot of learning and a lot of things to take away from it.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome, man. So can you tell us a little bit more about the philanthropy chair position and like what the job entails? So
philanthropy chair for the Sigma Chi chapter at Ole Miss, we have two main philanthropy events that we focus on. The first being the Thomas Mayo 5K, which we'll talk a little bit more about later on. And then also our national philanthropy week, Derby Days, which we just had a couple of weeks ago. But that is a little more fun around the school. We just try to get more fraternities and sororities involved.
Yeah. Just
fundraise for cancer research at the Huntsman Foundation in Utah.
Yeah.
So we take that very seriously, as well as the 5K. And those are the two main things that the philanthropy chair deals with. Planning, deals with just all the logistics of getting that able to be had on campus and have a good week with it.
Yeah, that's super cool. I remember we were at the 5K back last October, and it was an awesome event. Could you go into a little bit of detail about what it takes to plan an event like that?
So it took a lot of months of planning. Luckily, I had a lot of help with even some of the Derby Days guys that we have just for that week. They really stepped up and helped out for this 5K, and then the parents too. The parents were a big help, getting us the information for alumni, to reach out to them for donations and to reach out to them to come run it if they were able. And they were able to set up a really well-designed website for us for the 5K, but also for our fraternity. So everything was just very centralized into that one database. So that made it a lot easier.
Yeah.
But just having that help with the parents and everyone else just kind of rallying around Thomas and the 5K and just knowing what it means to our fraternity, to him, to his family. It really just took everyone, kind of all hands on deck. Yeah. But we were able to raise $60,000 for the Mayo Lab, and we were really, really proud of how it was able to come out. But it definitely took months of planning and just communication between everyone to know when things were getting ordered, when things were getting in on time. But yeah, it was great to see just everybody working together, everybody kind of doing different stuff for a collective cause. So it was great just seeing how many people really rallied around it.
Definitely. I mean, there was a massive turnout.
Yeah,
it was awesome.
That was our second year doing it, but it was definitely a bigger turnout than the first year, which we're really excited about.
Yeah.
And hopefully we'll keep, growing and growing each year that we have it.
Definitely. So I'm going to get deep for a second, but did you know Thomas?
I did know Thomas personally. He was a junior at Ole Miss when I was coming in as a freshman, and just during fraternity rush and different things like that, I was able to be around Thomas, and he was always super happy guy, super, talkative to anybody that came up. He never made you feel unwelcome or anything like that. He was just pure joy and pure happiness. So that's what I focus on more about Thomas. That's really all the stories that come into my brain are him with a smile on his face, him laughing with his buddies, just having a good time with everybody. So I did know Thomas, and it was definitely tough when he passed.
Yeah, I can only imagine. That leads me to my next question. Everyone handles loss differently. What was it like? Like, what did you do, and how did it affect you?
It was tough for me. I remember when I found out, I called my parents, and I'm fortunate enough that I have not had many family events like this, or really any people super close to me that have passed away like this. And so I called my parents, and it was a lot more questioning than looking for comfort, if that makes sense. It was more of just wanting to figure out why this happened and why it would have happened to someone as great as Thomas.
Yeah.
And so it was interesting, just the mix of emotions. I feel like when I first found out the news, and when I first made that phone call to my parents, it was more anger and confusion. Yeah. And then it just kind of turns into, realizing that, you can't change it. You wish you could. Everybody wishes they could.
Definitely.
And so it becomes just more, sad reality of coming to it. But it was definitely a mix of anger, confusion, sadness, just kind of everything all mixed in one. It was a tough day for all of us, whether you knew him super well or whether you only knew his name.
Yeah.
It was tough for everybody, but it's important, like you said, that everybody handles it differently, and there's no one better way to handle it than the other. I just know for me personally, it was a lot of talking with my parents, and a lot of asking questions that sometimes nobody has the answer for.
Yeah.
But it's getting that talking and getting those thoughts out of you and into the world that really helps. So no matter how you get through those tough times, I always say that just speaking as much as you can helps and just gets everything out of your mind about a situation like this.
Definitely. So it's not trapped in there.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome that your parents are there for you, and that you have somebody to go and talk to if anything happens like that.
Yeah, I'm very thankful for them, and just they've been very open to me about, anything regarding substance issues or anything in between. They're very supportive and want me to be open with them about what's going on, and that makes it a lot easier to be able to talk to them about this kind of stuff.
Yeah, definitely. Well, on to the next topic. It's kind of like around the same topic, but I think that it's really important for student organizations to highlight or just at least like be moving towards promoting that kind of cause, right? So how do you feel about the efforts that Sigma Chi right now are making towards like substance use awareness?
I think Sigma Chi is making great strides towards substance awareness and other issues along that line of mental health and everything. I know that, after the event with Thomas, us and other fraternities and sororities as well, really invested in Narcan and getting enough into every fraternity, sorority house, and even giving them to members to take home with them, just so that at the very least, if you don't know what to do, you can help somebody out with that and help save a life.
Definitely.
And then also our fraternity has been talking more about Thomas and some of the other members that we've sadly passed, Michael Olds and Walker Fielder, but talking about them and just keeping their memory alive. It's crazy to think that my grade and the grade below us are really the only two grades that remember Walker and Thomas, and so just trying to keep their memory alive and keep the younger guys that maybe didn't know them personally or didn't get the chance to really see them and hang out with them. Yeah. Just to know what they were like, and to know that if you are going through struggles and or just issues, that the people in that fraternity, those are the guys that you can turn to and you can really, collectively just latch onto and have a support system. So we've done a great job just reminding each other every couple of chapters or so, like, hey, we love you guys. Like, we're going to make jokes. We're going to be guys, but we're always going to have your back. We're always going to be there for y'all. Yeah. So we've just really kind of emphasized that, I think, more, at least from what I've seen, when I was a freshman going to chapter meetings and everything. I think we've definitely emphasized it more of just the relationship building and the being able to talk to, the guy sitting next to you or whoever it is in the fraternity, whether it is an adult or if it is, a student along with you. So
Yeah.
just like I said, just being able to really open up the conversation and not be afraid to talk about these things that many, many, many people in college deal with. It's not just specific to Ole Miss. It's not just specific to SEC. It's all over the country. So we've opened up our fraternity a lot more to those kind of conversations. So I'm hoping we'll continue to do that. And like I said, let Michael, Thomas, and Walker's memories all live on.
Yeah, that's awesome that you guys are doing all of that. And actually, I had an episode that I recorded a couple weeks ago with a guy named Jack Baker. Do you know Jack? And,
Yeah, I do, yeah.
And then Dakota White. And we talked about masculinity and vulnerability as well, because a lot of the time, men see it as a weakness to be vulnerable.
That's true.
So that is awesome that Sigma Chi is making those moves.
We really are. Like, that's a very true thing. And just it can be kind of seen as weak to talk about your feelings or talk about, something that might be, small in scale, but it's just kind of bringing you down or it's weighing heavy on you. There's no reason to just keep those inside and be the only one who fights it. There's other people, because you never know. You could tell one person about a problem and they've got a totally different perspective that can really help you and really kind of get you going on the right path. So talking to one person at the very least is always going to be better than talking to nobody. So that's definitely something we're trying to fight, is just that, speaking of your feelings is weak or weird or whatever. We don't want people in our fraternity to think like that at all. And I know other fraternities are making sure that that's normal as well to talk about those things.
Yeah, that's awesome, dude. My next question for you actually is about the philanthropy chair position, but what would you say the most rewarding part of being philanthropy chair was for you?
The most rewarding part for me was, I kind of touched on it earlier, was just seeing how many people came together, not just for the 5K, but for Derby Days and for other fraternity and sorority events that other people were holding throughout the year. Just how much the community really came together for one single event on the weekends. And really just the impact that has on other people that they may not even know or realize. Like, for example, the 5K run, it was really rewarding just seeing how much it meant to the Mayo family. And, they didn't know, majority of the people that were showing up for the race, but, those people cared about them and they wanted to be there to support the Mayo family. So it was just really, really rewarding to see that all the planning and hard work and talking about the event actually came to fruition and people really rallied together for just 2 hours one morning to really make a family's day, to make their week, and bring money to a great cause, to something that is very true to Ole Miss, but true to other schools as well, like I said. So it was just really rewarding seeing how many people came together to be for one cause, to be there for one cause. So I think that would be it. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So I think that's the most rewarding thing that I saw from being philanthropy chair.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. I'm actually going to open up a little bit about, I guess, what got me to this job, and it's something very similar. A similar situation happened that happened to Thomas. Is my girlfriend, her brother passed away at 22. It was last year, and it was substance related. And that kind of inspired me to get this job. But when I went to that race, that was just awesome because I got to see the Mayo family, and just you could see their faces when they saw everybody that was there. And I'm hoping that we can get something going for my girlfriend's brother as well, because that would just be amazing to help any family that might be going through that. And that race really touched me. So you guys did a great job.
Yeah, and I've got to give the Mayo family some credit as well. They've done a great job of kind of promoting that and that run and everything, and kind of keeping Thomas's memory alive for something positive rather than for something negative. So I think it would be great if your girlfriend's family did something like that, or the community would love to build around it, I'm sure. but that's something that the Mayo family kind of helped build, and we just were able to pile on and really kind of get the resources for them. But doing something like that for people is just really, it's great to just see the effect that it can have on them and the positives that can come out of it.
Exactly. Make light of a very dim situation.
Exactly. That's the best you can do in any of these kind of situations.
Definitely. And I have one more question about the 5K, but how did the idea of the 5K actually come about? Were you involved in that?
So it started the year before I became philanthropy chair. Our philanthropy chair the year before, Jackson Scruggs, did a great job of communicating with the parents and the alumni and advisors of Sigma Chi to really make that happen. A lot of it was I will be honest, a lot of it was the parents kind of pushing it and being like, we can help out with getting the contacts and getting people to come in from, all over. Mm-hmm. But this year was a lot more run by me and my kind of team of Sigma Chi members that were helping me. And the parents were still there helping, but a lot more behind the scenes. Yeah. So it really started with Jackson and the parents just talking a lot and, figuring out how to get this idea to really hit campus. And so that first year was a little experimental, and it worked out great. So once we saw that in the first year how well it worked, we knew that it could be something that could build on each year. So I was just really thankful that the parents were still helpful this year, and they gave us a little more resources to know what to do leading in the next few years to where it can be kind of more of a fraternity-led event rather than parents as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's really how the idea came about, was parents and Jackson, because Jackson's a Oxford guy and his family knows the Mayos very well. So all of them together in the fraternity, it just sounded like a great idea. Obviously, we all wanted to get involved. So that was just kind of how it all even started in the first place.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. And I have one more question for you, and this will wrap us up. But how do you feel about the connection between the event and the larger conversation of like substitutes among students, and then seeing that show out of that many students piling in to promote the cause? Yeah,
I think it's great just to see the amount of people that come to the 5K. For mental health awareness, and just to talk to the Mayos and see, and talk to people who really knew Thomas and see kind of what he was like and hear stories about him. And I just think it's great because I think it opens the page for other people to realize that, they need to talk about these issues and, what does mental health really mean to me and to my friends, because nobody ever knows what another person's going through. We all have our own problems, our own little struggles that we have to go through. But the more you can be open about it and the more you can just let a little bit of your life into other people's lives, it'll help you a lot. So I think just really seeing the amount of people that come together and that hear what the cause is for and everything, it opens their eyes to the conversation being started and this kind of end of the trend where it was weird to talk about your feelings or talk about what's getting you down. And I think that's really just what we're trying to do, is just spread it on campus of, get the help that you need. It's not, weird or anything at all, or weak or anything at all to get help. Everybody needs help in their lives.
It's okay to not be okay.
Exactly. So I know I've talked to people in my past, whether it's parents, whether it's professionals, and some of my problems can seem really, really small to my parents or to whoever I'm talking to, but still just talking with them and getting that out of, like I said earlier, getting it out of your head just really helps clear your mind and feel better with yourself.
Definitely.
That's what I was really happy with, was seeing the amount of people that came out that heard what the cause was about, wanted to be kind of part of the conversation. And just seeing the amount of guys that really came together and hung out kind of on that morning, celebrating Thomas and celebrating the 5K and the Mayo Lab and everything that we're working towards to really hope that and help that something like this doesn't happen again.
Yeah.
So that's the main thing I think with the event that we're really looking for.
Yeah. Well, I think you guys are doing a great job at accomplishing that. So that's
Thank
awesome.
you. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much for being a guest today on the podcast.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I love being here. Thank you.
Absolutely. And stay tuned, everybody, for the research report.